Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Elisa Blair, your real estate angel with Keller Williams Real Estate. And this is our park bench interview with Mary English from Open Heart Wellness. Mary, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I absolutely love the description of what you do. Can you share with everyone what Open Heart Wellness is and what kind of coaching you do?
Open Heart Wellness is sort of an evolving company that I started a few years ago. I started with doing Reiki and just felt I needed more to add to it. So I have been slowly adding over the past 5 years. So now I do Reiki and Aroma Touch. I work with doTERRA essential oils, and then I've added coaching to that. I think they all will fit really well together. And certainly I'm hoping to get the coaching to become more active as far as seeing clients and stuff. And I think that the Aroma Touch and the Reiki will fit in there well with issues of self-care and that kind of thing. So I love working with people, and just figured I had to keep trying something.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Can you, now the coaching that you do you specific on certain issues or things that people are trying to work on?
I've branded it kind of as life coaching. Grief and bereavement, I think, are kind of my pet topics. I think there's a lot of need there for helping people get going forward with their grief. You get a lot of help in the beginning, but sometimes once you get that initial help, you still have to find out where your life's going to go. What do I do now? How do I brand my life now? I've had the experience of that, so I think I'm set in a good position to help people kind of work through those questions and really look at what they want. It's like I'm there to help you figure out what that's going to be for you.
That's wonderful. So what I hear you say is that you help, you give people guidance and help them figure out what that next step is through their grief process.
Yes, that's right. I also will work with people who are not necessarily grieving, but just stuck. I don't like my job anymore. Where do I go? You've got 100 dreams, but you don't know which one to pick. So
right.
To really look at their heart to see what really makes them excited or what they would really like to begin trying.
Phenomenal. I think a lot of people right now might be going through those situations, especially given, the time that we're living in, right?
That's right. I've heard that from so many people. What do I do now? What's happening after COVID? Parents that are trying to work and homeschool and their jobs aren't working out or whatever. So it's definitely, there's a lot of work out there for people to gain assistance. So
did your experience with grief and bereavement come from a personal experience?
Yes, it did. I did get involved with hospice essentially to make sure I was okay. We always think we're okay, but sometimes we're not as okay as we think. So maybe I should check in on that one. So I did, and I went through one of their programs.
Yeah.
And met someone that encouraged me to go farther as far as learning to work with others. So I went through all of those programs. Did a coaching program back in December.
That's amazing. And that ties, I think, really well with all the other natural modalities that you use, right?
Yeah, I think so. I never seen myself as a teacher, and when I look back now, I guess I probably was in my nursing career. But I don't think of it. I think of being as a nursing career, and then you realize that you were really teaching in that as well.
Well, that's wonderful. So I would say from everything that you've shared in our time together here, your ideal clients would be those that I hear two different tracks, I guess. One is somebody who doesn't have the tools to handle some of the emotions, thoughts that come up with dealing with grief and bereavement, and needing to know maybe what to do next, whether it's for them personally or for their family. And then the other track is for those individuals who just are like stuck in a rut, whether it be through work or through following a passion and just not knowing what that next step should be, and you helping them uncover that and giving them guidance in what that should look like. Is that right?
That's correct. And I think that the one, when I think of all of those things, the thing that I have brought with me from my psychotherapy, which seems really simple, is to be curious.
Absolutely, because I think those things also give clarity, doesn't it? The more you start to uncover and unpack, you get to discover and get more clarity about where it is you want to be, what you want to do. Mary, what is the best way if people want to connect with you and they have questions, they want to kind of discover for themselves whether this is going to be a right fit or not? How do they connect with you?
They can connect with me through the Open Heart Wellness page, my Facebook page,
okay,
or my email, maryenglish at 471@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then I have a phone number there as well, so they prefer to phone and talk to me on the phone. That's fine. Any of those ways are going to work. I try to check my Facebook at least a couple times a day if there's any messages on there.
Well, is there anything, Mary, that you want to add that we haven't touched upon yet that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Not that I can think of, other than the fact that I think there's always times when we need that little bit of boost, whether it be long-term or short-term. It's always good to have that little bit of extra boost. Your family and your friends can be, give you ideas and stuff, but they don't ask the same kind of questions that a coach would ask.
As the person who, clearly needs support, would they be afraid to ask family or friends to, for advice or to open up in that way because it makes them extremely vulnerable?
Well, it does make them very vulnerable. And I think sometimes your family, they're looking more to look after you and take care and maybe fix a situation whereas there are a lot of situations they can't fix. And there's things you don't tell your family and probably not your friends unless they're very especially close friends, that you would tell a therapist or a coach.
Wow. Mary, you've shed light on so many things. Where would your ideal next client come from? Who are you looking to help right now?
I'm actually, I guess I feel that I'm open to anyone that wants to look at getting some help. The grief and bereavement is probably the closest to my heart, but the other is, equally important as far as, the situation we've been in over the past 13 or 14 months. There's a lot of trauma out there, a lot of indecision, a lot of fear as to where they're going to end up when this is over with. So I'm open to anyone, and even in that aspect, that just needs some way of finding that that balance in their life, or that boat is not going to tip over on them any minute, and they're going to be swamped with stuff happening that they can't seem to figure out how to control.
Right. Wonderful. Well, I look forward to sharing this with my audience. If you're looking for some kind of support, if you need somebody to talk to and you're not really sure where to go, and you're not feeling brave or courageous enough to speak to your family or friends, or you feel that it may not be effective enough, then reach out to Mary. She's got the tools and skills, and definitely has the experience personally to walk you through some of your situations. So Mary, thank you for being here today. Do you have any last words that you want to share?
Just for anyone to know that whatever is said in our sessions or our meetings is strictly confidential. It's not something that, I would share with anyone else. It's strictly between that person and myself.
Amazing.
So there's a privacy there, and a safety area that they know that stays between the two of us.
That's so critically important, isn't it? For when somebody's feeling extremely vulnerable, to make, to be sure that they're also in a safe space, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Mary, so much for being here today, for sharing Open Heart Wellness with us. And we look forward to connecting with you again in the future.